Hey everyone, this is Crazyhouse, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Masters of the Universe Revelations. So, I did a story about this actually a year ago. I can't believe it's been that long, but I did talk about this a year ago and the rumors about what was going on with this series, and apparently me and a few others were actually right about this. So, I'm going to be talking about that in a moment, but just let me say I do have a sale going on my online store. If you want to go check it out and pick up some of my products at a low price, you can get my coloring books, comic books, and my posters on sale now at my online store at chriscrazyhouse.storeenvy.com. I would advise going there now, getting there as soon as possible, because the sale will be over August the 5th. So make sure you get in there and get those products as quickly as you can. Okay. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can always become a Patreon of Chris Crazyhouse. Just go to Patreon, look me up, and you can become a Patreon by joining one of 3 tiers. We have a tier for $5, we have a tier for $8, and we got the tier for $10. Okay, all 3 tiers have different perks and different prizes, but it's all great stuff and all great content that is exclusive to my Patreon. So go check that out now as well, as soon as possible. And the links for my Patreon as well as my online store will be in the description box as well as the comments section. So let's talk about Masters of the Universe Revelations, or let's talk about the rumors and the confirmation of rumors that is going on right now, because the internet is basically having a frenzy, and it's almost a piranha type frenzy on Kevin Smith at this point. And that's because Kevin Smith is the showrunner for this new version of Masters of the Universe that has premiered as of right now on Netflix. I have not watched the first episode yet. I do plan on watching it tomorrow morning, probably when I finish washing my clothes and folding them up in the morning. I might turn it on and check it out and see what it's all about, at least the first episode, and then maybe I'll come back on Monday and give you guys a review of what I saw and what I think. But the problem that a lot of people have been having with this new version of Masters of the Universe is that it's been marketed as a direct sequel to the Heman and the Masters of the Universe cartoon that was done by Filmation way back when, in the 80s, and they've been marketing it as the continuation of the battle with He-Man and Skeletor, and they've been using He-Man heavily in the marketing. But the rumor is that both He-Man and Prince Adam get sidelined, and it all becomes an adventure centered around the character Teela, basically doing like, I think what it was compared to by IGN was the movie Mad Max Fury Road, where the female character Furiosa was more the main character than Mad Max was. And others have compared it to The Last Jedi as well, where, the hero Luke Skywalker kind of got sidelined for this new female character of Rey. And, a lot of people are upset about that. This, like I said, I talked about this a year ago when the rumors came out, and people were getting on Kevin Smith about this, saying like, as someone who claims to be a fan of Masters of the Universe, how could you do this? And he lashed out and made several videos attacking the people about them calling him out for his nonsense, and that the backlash against him has not gone well, and it's really not going well now. I mean, I've seen people just release rapid fire video after video getting on Kevin Smith, and it's almost funny in a way. Like, I'm kind of laughing at it more so than anything else. The reason I don't get too emotional about it, because I don't trust some of the people that are attacking him as well. Some of these people, I don't really take them very seriously as well, like Geeks and Gamers and some of these other sites. I mean, that's all they do is complain about stuff to begin with, so it's almost kind of like, what else are they going to do? Of course, when they're proven right about something, of course they're going to take it as a way to get more views and supporters for themselves in this regard, especially going after a bigger name like Kevin Smith. But that doesn't mean I agree with Kevin Smith either. I was a Kevin Smith fan as someone who is a fellow independent filmmaker. You know, he's always been someone that independent filmmakers can look up to as far as doing your own film and doing it your own way and kind of having your own voice as a filmmaker, someone who's very heavily into comics and pop culture. And he's also, you know, somewhat of a hometown hero. I'm from the same area of New Jersey as he is. So, you know, I used to go to that comic shop, that Secret Stash comic shop that they used to have in Red Bank. I used to go there all the time. It was right around the corner from my high school. I used to sneak out during either lunchtime or try to leave early just so I can go to the comic shop before I had to go catch my bus. So, like I said, he's someone that, you know, I always kind of looked at as almost kind of like an inspiration, as someone from my, you know, neck of the woods being successful. I've even met him once or twice. So, you know, a lot of people have had respect for him, and this has kind of destroyed that respect that a lot of people have for them. Now, for me, it's not that big of a deal. I don't worship the man, so I can't really get too hurt or upset about it. I will say that he's done damage to himself in this regard, as far as, you know, if you were making this new modern He-Man and you don't include He-Man in it, that looks bad. Okay, and Kevin, you know this looks bad, so why even try to avoid the backlash? You know what I mean? Like, I think if he had just been honest about it and maybe just say, hey, they threw me a whole bunch of money, they're basically using my name the same way they're using He-Man's name to get people to watch this, so they threw me a bunch of cash, they wanted me to do it, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to use it to make something that I really want to make later on, right? Just say that would have been, that'd be more honest about what you're doing. And, you know, people really, even if they were mad at you about that, they really couldn't fault you for being honest about what was going on there. But instead, you've been trying to manipulate them and being a little bit more Hollywood than people are used to coming from you, as someone who's been a critic of some of the nonsense and the stories that go on with Hollywood. I mean, if you built a whole talking career and giving speeches and telling stories at conventions based on dealing with the nonsense that you have dealt with and the wronggoings of Hollywood and the comic book industry and everything else, but now you basically are doing the same thing. So in that regard, I think some of his critics are right. I do think a lot of them are going overboard. Like I said, I think that a lot of them just want attention for their channels as well. And, you know, some of them are not above doing probably what he would do if they were in his place. I know that for a fact. I think some of them, if they were in his place, they would probably have done the same exact thing. So, for me, it's not... For me, what bothers me is just being a fan of the classic He-Man cartoon. I was a big fan of the 2000 series as well. I was a big fan of the action figures always. It's a shame to see it go this way. The fact that you literally have a product and an IP called He-Man, and you don't want to not just not include the main character, but you want to make it more female, it doesn't even make any sense. You know, you already have the spin-off of She-Ra that girls watch, that you wanted girls to watch. Why do you need to do that to He-Man as well? The character's name is the most manly name ever. You know what I'm saying? It should be the most manliest cartoon ever. It should be the most overly masculine thing ever. And people think that that's something to make fun of or something bad. It's not bad to be masculine. I know that's what society is telling you nowadays, that it's bad to be masculine. It's not good for men to be men. It's not good for even men to be attracted to women anymore. I know it. But if I have my way, of doing a Masters of the Universe series, I would make it more, take it back to his fantasy roots. Take it back to his, you know, when it was based off of Conan the Barbarian. Take it back to that, or those original comics that came out with the toys, which had a completely different story from what the actual Filmation cartoon was about. I would take it back to that if I was going to do a Masters of the Universe series, and I'd make the characters look a bit more serious and hardcore. Now, As far as the series go, from the previews I saw, the animation and the character designs look good. Shout out to the homie Eddie Nunez. He did some of the character designs for this show. He's a very talented artist. He's one of those guys that I remember buying his sketchbooks back in the day where I didn't even have a whole bunch of money, but he was so talented I wanted to buy his sketchbooks. But you know, it's sad that for a lot of these great artists and animators to work on this show and so much controversy is around it, I'm afraid people actually won't watch it or pay it much attention. Okay, or they'll watch the first part of it and then be disappointed and not want to watch anymore. So I don't know what's going on. I'll watch the first episode, I promise I will, and I'll give you my opinion of it then. You folks let me know how you feel about the whole fiasco surrounding Masters of the Universe Revelations, and I'll post a link to my original video just to give you proof that I did talk about this a year ago, so it's not like I'm just talking about it because it's the talk of the town now. You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Anyway, Chris Crazyhouse signing out. Peace.